Alright, y'all. This is going to be a little bit of a long video, but I'm hoping that I can help y'all out. This is related to the Holley Brawler 650, 750, and the 850 carburetors. I got 3 topics to cover, and I will cover the symptoms as I'm talking about these 3 topics. 1, flooding. 2, a flat power spot, or sniffing, coughing, sneezing will all be covered under the flat power spot, including stalling under the flat power spot, right? And then number 3, the choke not working. All of this stuff is kind of related to being right out of the box. All right, so start with problem number 1. A lot of you are experiencing flooding with this carburetor. I've seen post after post on Facebook, and I've seen it here on TikTok, where everybody's carburetor, if they are running the Holley Brawler series, it's flooding their engine. They can't figure out why. It's an excessive amount of fuel. It's your needle and seat O-rings. So right here's your needle and seats, right? In here, there's going to be an O-ring somewhere down in here. That O-ring, right out of the box, after doing research, I found an article, and the article told me that there were people leaving reviews about the O-rings for the needle and seats leaking right out of the box. So I went and started reading real reviews myself. I didn't only read the 5-star reviews. I read all of the low-star reviews because I wanted to figure out why I was having this problem. Well, I read all the low-star reviews, and people were talking about needle and seat O-rings. And they were talking that Holley needs to do something better about their Brawler quality control. And I agree with that 100%. Because for years, I fought flooding, not knowing that it was a 2-cent O-ring this whole time. Like, it didn't cross my mind. But anyways, it was the needle and seat O-rings. If you're here on Facebook, I'm going to attach a screenshot to this post. You will see the O-ring that I took off of the needle and seat of the primary bowl. I did not take a picture of the secondary bowl. I wish I would have. The secondary bowl did the exact same thing. As soon as I lifted it out of the primary bowl, the O-ring fell off. It just literally fell off. Then the secondary bowl, I lifted it out, and the O-ring just fell off. What is happening is the fuel is coming up to your middle of your sight glass, and the O-ring is somewhere around in here, right? It's coming up to the middle of your sight glass, and it's going up, and then it's leaking right past your O-ring into your engine, flooding your engine. You have probably noticed, if you are experiencing this problem, you've probably noticed how your float levels in your primary and secondary bowls are constantly erratically changing. They're either too high, too low. It's a constant erratic change. It's because of these O-rings. There's fuel staying in, and then once it's warmed up, it just goes right past it. And now you're flooding. Now, problem number 2. We are going to get into the choke not working. As for the guys that have the metal finish, where it's just either solid metal, it's the aluminum version, whatever you want to call it, you can kind of fast forward a little bit. As for the guys with the black versions or painted versions, or you painted yours, even though I don't think anybody's ever painted theirs, but as for the people with the black version, you're going to want to scrape the paint off of this ground to your choke. You're just going to want to scrape the paint off. As soon as I scraped the paint off, my choke started working, as it should. Before I did that, the choke stayed fully closed. It would not open. It would not adjust. It would not do shit. It just didn't do anything. So I started checking grounds, checked my power, had my power, etc. I double checked everything. And then I come across here, realized that there was no ground contact at all. So I come over here, I scrape the paint, put it back on. As soon as I scraped the paint and stepped back, I walked away for a few minutes, came back, and the choke was slightly open, like it is right now. Well, I went to go turn the key on, and sure enough, as the truck warmed up, the choke opened up, as it should. It was not doing that before because the ground contact was garbage. That's for the choke issue. But I haven't seen a lot of people mention the choke issue, so I don't think any of y'all are going to have that issue. but I did. Oh, before I move on, let me show y'all the size of the O-rings. If y'all are just going to replace O-rings, you need this size right here. 6mm, 10mm by 2mm. If you are going to replace the O-rings, you're going to need that size right here. You can buy the needle and seat O-ring from Holley, or you can get it at AutoZone O'Reilly's as a whole kit, but it's going to be $11 for the front, $11 for the rear. It only comes as one. As for the whole O-rings, most of the time, your upper and lower gasket are perfectly fine. So as for the O-rings, just buy a $11 box of O-rings and use the 6mm, 10mm by 2mm, and you'll be just fine. Now, as for the flat spot, sniffing, coughing, sneezing, stalling whenever you're accelerating, that is most likely due to your air-to-fuel mixture ratio screws. You need to hook a vacuum gauge to your vacuum port, either via intake manifold, or PCV valve, or brake booster. I did the brake booster. You're going to want to do a vacuum gauge. You're going to want to mess with your air-to-fuel ratio screws. You want anywhere from 17 inches to 21 inch-pounds, or not inch-pounds, but inches of vacuum with your air-to-fuel mixture ratio screws. Even your idle has a little bit to play with. Your idle has a lot to play with your vacuum. But you're going to want to play with those. Make sure your tune is right. Now, if you have that and your vacuum is right, your tune is right, and you still have a flat spot, you're sniffing, you're stalling, you're sneezing, coughing whenever you're hitting the throttle, you're going to want to pay close attention to your accelerator pump cam on the primary bowl and your accelerator pump cam on the secondary bowl. So, with the Holley Brawler series, they decided to send them with the smallest, well, no, not the smallest, the second to the smallest accelerator pump cam they offer. If you don't know what the accelerator pump cam does, it basically gives the command to the accelerator pump cam on how much fuel needs to be delivered when the throttle is being applied, in a sense. All right, so the pink cam has 3 positions. If you have a stock platform, you're just going to want to adjust your 3 positions. If you have a mild stock platform, adjust your 3 positions, see what happens. If you have mild or rowdy, you're probably going to need either the orange cam, which is what I need to upgrade to, or you are going to need the blue cam. As for the stock and mild, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cover all of this for you. So you're going to need a feeler gauge. You are going to be wide open throttle, vehicle not running. Wide open throttle, you're going to slide the feeler gauge back and forth right here, under between these two. Slide it back and forth. You want the feeler gauge to have a little bit of drag, but not a shit ton, but you also don't want it to easily just glide. You want it to have a little bit of drag, a little bit of resistance, all right? You're going to want to set it to 15 thousandths. After you do that, see what changes. If nothing changes, you're going to come to your accelerator pump cam. And accelerator pump cam, what you do to one, do to the other. Kind of. Not at all times are you going to have to change the cam on both, but I had to because I need bigger cams on both. So you're going to have 3 positions on this cam. Position 1 is the fastest, smallest shot of fuel. So it's an instant shot of fuel, but it's the smallest shot of fuel. Position 2 is a mild shot of fuel, but it's a delayed shot of fuel. Position 3 is a instant, delayed, big shot of fuel, at least for this cam. Its version of big shot of fuel is not very much. So you're going to want to adjust them accordingly. Every time you move the cam, you're going to have to relash it. Wide open throttle, 15 thousandths. But anyways, you're going to adjust accordingly. I had to go to position 3. Position 3 got rid of my sniffing and coughing when I would whack the throttle. Anytime I whacked the throttle, it would sniff and cough. When I was on position 1, it would actually sniff, cough, sneeze, then stall. Position 2, it would sniff and cough. And then position 3, it just sniffs now. It kind of goes, and then it starts moving. If I'm easy on the throttle, it does just fine. But adjust your accelerator pump cams accordingly. I hope this helps y'all. I'm running out of time. I got 5 seconds left. I hope this helps y'all. Good luck.